I'd categorize them into two main categories. One are the structural problems, the legal problems. So Republicans and Democrats, there are two main things they agree on. Number one is that every day is a great new day to screw over the American people more than they ever have before. They work together great on that one. It's time for corporate welfare, new wars, new laws, more debt, more spending. They pretty much are always in lockstep there. They're usually arguing over how much more of that they can do. And the other thing they agree on is no one else should be able to really be able to compete against them.
Mhm.
And so they, with ballot access laws, with signature requirements, with everything else that they have in place, it makes it very, very hard to run at all, even just to even get on the ballot. I'll give one of the most extreme examples is in Tennessee. In Tennessee, if you want to run as a Republican or Democrat for any office, you have to get, I believe it's 25 signatures. And that makes sense, right? Because otherwise, if anyone who said I'm running could just be on the ballot, it'd be like a phone book, right? Like it would, they want to show that you can get 25 people to sign something and there's some minimal processing fee to pay. That makes sense. Okay, I get that. If you want to run as a libertarian or any other third party candidate, you have to get 50,000 signatures.
For
And
any
because
office.
any office, and if you run even an office where there aren't 50,000 people, you have to get 50,000 signatures. Now, keep in mind, now also, it's even worse than that because historically, you have to double that number because the people that are in charge of verifying those signatures are all people appointed by Republicans and Democrats. So they
Mhm.
look for any excuse they can, and what they like to do is they'll go, "Oh, this signature, this zip code was done wrong, or they neglected to put this there, so we're just going to invalidate the whole petition that with and all the signatures on it." So you really have to go in with double the signatures, and there's all sorts of ridiculous restrictions like that. So that's the structural stuff. But what I think is an even bigger problem, even if we had full ballot access, even if we had things like ranked choice voting, even if we had everything, if the playing field from a structural standpoint, from a legal and ballot and structural standpoint was completely even, we would still have to deal with the cultural problem. We have to deal with the
Mhm.
fact that the average American thinks that there are two parties to choose from. And if you run outside of those two parties, then you're a fool and you're not going to win. And, all you're doing is taking votes away from the other two who are going to win. And so that means they need to spend all of their time figuring out which of these two candidates is the lesser evil. And that's
Mhm.
the main thing. Long after we've dealt with ballot, in fact, actually, before we deal with ballot access laws or any of that stuff, we need to deal with the fact that the average American just doesn't think that voting third party or independent is viable. And that's actually
Mhm.
why I started You Are the Power. Because we need to show people long before they start making decisions about who to vote for, we need to show them that our solutions work so that they realize that this is all they want. They don't want whatever the Republicans and Democrats are selling them. All they want is more liberty. All they want is more
Mhm.
control over their own lives. All they want is for all the power that's being put in the hands of too few people to be put back in their hands where it always belonged. And when we change that from a cultural level, now the conversation goes from being, I don't know if you're going to win, to I don't care if you win. This is all that I want. I want freedom. I want liberty.